Hello and welcome to this podcast series brought to you by Connect Health Tech. Connect Health Tech is Cambridge University's enterprise zone, the gateway into the university's life sciences and health tech community for collaborators, companies and investors. We work to join the dots between medicine and technology across the Cambridge ecosystem and beyond. By strengthening interdisciplinary bridges between academia, industry and healthcare, we facilitate real-world possibilities, transforming innovative ideas into tangible outcomes that benefit society. In our podcast series, Joining the Dots, we explore and discuss a diverse range of themes and topics of interest, including developing interdisciplinary collaborations, finding the right partner, and impactful business support for entrepreneurs. I'm Paula Rogers-Brown, Business Community Manager for Connect Health Tech, and in this episode of Joining the Dots, we explore innovative educational programs that equip individuals with the key skills and knowledge needed to embark on an entrepreneurial journey. Joining me today is Yupar Myint, Head of Entrepreneurship Programs at the Maxwell Centre. Yupar has more than 16 years of experience in building entrepreneurship programs and international collaborations, including the very successful Impulse programme. Yupar completed her MBA at Cambridge Business School in 2002, and her research interests include understanding the social capital effect in entrepreneurial development and training. Yupar, thank you so much for joining me today. So let's start with your career journey.
Paula, thank you very much. And thank you very much for inviting me and to share myself and my knowledge and the Impulse, what we are doing on the Impulse program. So Paula, as you know, I'm Yupar Myint. I'm originally from Burma, Myanmar, and I came to UK in 2001 to do MBA at the Judge Business School. And it is actually, if I think about it, already 21 years ago already. And so why? Because it is all about entrepreneurship, maybe interesting why I choose Cambridge MBA, right? Because it is a very strong in the entrepreneurship, and Cambridge is one of the well-known entrepreneurial cluster. So it was my decision that I will do my MBA at the Judge. I met Dr. Shine Vivekanand. He taught entrepreneurship course at my MBA. So this is how I met Shine, because it is a very important element, I think, in my career. That's why I like to mention about that. So during my MBA, I did my dissertation related to the critical success factors of the Cambridge cluster. That is together with the GEIF is one of the old-time business angel group, Great Eastern Investment Forum, and Deloitte & Touche. And when I finished my MBA, and Shine approached me and gave me a consultancy work to analyze the Cambridge cluster. This is how it came up with this social capital of a Cambridge cluster paper and research. And this is a very important point because I think this research gave me a door to entering the Cambridge ecosystem, and also got to know many influential entrepreneurs, innovators within the Cambridge community. This is how I know it. And early 2003, I joined CFEL. I joined Shine, Center for Entrepreneurial Learning, and until 2016. So, and my role at the CFEL is when we do the research, but at the same time trying to build entrepreneurship programs and also international collaborations, and creating the partnership, and also creating the customized program for innovators and entrepreneurs. So that was my role. And during at these times, I was also interested in international dimension of entrepreneurship. So 5 years, I also work with a part-time role. I work with the EFA, European Entrepreneurship Group, and we have looking into training European professor, educator in teaching entrepreneurship. So this is also for me is another important role in my career, because I try to understand international perspectives of entrepreneurship, European perspectives, as well as there are a lot of many universities like Stanford, Harvard, MIT involved in this project. So understanding, how the European thinking, how the US thinking in entrepreneurship. For me, it is a very important role of my career. But going back to Cambridge, when I left Judge Business School 2016, it is early, and then I joined the Maxwell Center, and that is the Department of Physics, and actually to set up this impulse program for the tech innovators.
That's great. That's a really interesting career journey, and why you chose to come to Cambridge, because of the entrepreneurial ecosystem here already. So that's really interesting. Thank you for that. So yeah, let's move on to the Maxwell Centre now. What does your role at the Maxwell Centre entail?
Currently, my role is a head of the entrepreneurship, but it is like a startup, to be honest with you, within the university. So what you have to do is that you have to think about the vision of the program, articulate what is the vision, what is the long-term strategies, what we want to achieve in the future, and also team building. So you have to assemble the team, not only operational team, but also the external teams like advisors, board members, mentors, and also raising funding. So you can't run out of funding. So you have to making sure you have a financially viable, because we are thinking about it is not relying on the specific funding. So you have to think about long-term sustainable operational model for the future. So that's mean you have to generate the revenues, you have to build the partnerships, you have to build the customers around that. So that's very much like a startup attitude. And of course, the one thing in my heart is the curricular design. So the content of the program, it's like a product that meets the needs of the audience. All the learning ethos, if you like, the value, the spirits, the network behind, you have to build in the program. So every much, everything to make things happen. So.
And so many parts of the university, whether research institutes, centres like the Maxwell, the Milner, we really run on a startup methodology. It's amazing because people look from the outside and they just think academia, it's a little bit dry, but internally there are some areas that are real pockets of entrepreneurialism, because you are constantly thinking about the vision, the mission, the funding, the sustainability of the model of the product.
Definitely, Paula. So sometimes when you inspire entrepreneur, innovators to do entrepreneurship, you have to do the same thing, right? You have to create the same thing. It's you are not only talk the talk, you have to talk the walk. That is one of the spirits you have to build in. Yes.
Yeah, walk the walk, talk the talk. Absolutely. So let's explore the Impulse programme. How does it differ from other entrepreneurship programs? What is the USP of the Impulse programme?
It is a very, very interesting question, Paula. This is something, I always got these kind of questions many times. And for me, the Impulse program was not born like just in the instant. A lot of learning involved before that, before Impulse started. For me, I work in this entrepreneurship field for quite a long time. So, everybody Cambridge has plenty of successful entrepreneurs and investment communities. So Cambridge has got these critical mass of the entrepreneur. And they have also passion in helping the new generations. Cambridge is, if you think about 50, 60 years ago. And we need to continue to nurture this success, by creating the new generation. And we have these entrepreneurs, a network of entrepreneurs who are very willing to help and support new entrepreneurs. And sometimes some of the insights, little things you cannot find in the books, not in the business school books, you have to learn through the conversations. It's all about conversations and talking each other and creating the ideas, co-creation of the idea, co-creation of building the, making the businesses. So this is a conversation is key important. So Impulse program, that's why we bring, those who have done it before, and who have created the successful businesses, so they know where is the insights, that they know what is it mean to build a successful business? So that our new generation or our participants can learn directly from them, working with them, so that it's a flavor of what does it mean to start a business. So that kind of level. So many people, very involved in the Impulse program. They have a track record of building successful businesses. And second thing for me is a time because Impulse program is 12 weeks. So in the past, I ran a short courses before, at a business school, and I see sometimes, it is a very great course for a short, sharp kind of, how to call it, a pressure cooker moment. That's fantastic for them. But sometimes when you build a business, you need a little bit more time to digest and to reflect. And also you can test the ideas, during the discussion with your mentors or, other contributors you meet, and you can test it throughout the program. So that's why we put it a little bit kind of 12 weeks, but it's not full time. It's a very flexible learning. So they can test it out between the 12 weeks, and also they can build the relationship. They can build the trust. They can build the network. So they can, continue to build the relationship even after the program. So I think that is, important part of the program for keeping a little bit more time for people to actually think about it and reflect it. And the third one is, so we run a master classes, Paula. So we open to the master classes for all our alumni. So they are always feel like they got a constant support and feeling together. So yes, so we run a monthly master classes, monthly also mentoring, also for our alumni. And I know many of our mentors who are involved in the program keep in touch with some of our participants. Some of them are from 2017 program. They stay working together. So this is a spirit we are trying to achieve, and I think this is I would say a unique next of the Impulse program.
Yeah, I think certainly it's great to hear that how that program came about, and the fact that those involved, whether they're mentors or course leaders, etc., wish to continue on that conversation and keep in touch with those previous participants. And the fact that yourselves as a program, okay, we'll do a 12-week intensive pressure cooker moment, as you called it, but then we run these master classes afterwards as well, for the alumni to just to keep refreshed, in touch, etc. Really great, really, really good. So touching upon that you run master classes, can you expand further about the program itself, in particular the key content areas, and also who can apply to the Impulse program?
The program is very much, for very targeted to the early stage innovators or entrepreneurs. They have got an idea, but they would like to look into, whether this is something commercially feasible or possible, and how can I, go from now to the successful businesses. So that kind of area. The key content is, we have workshop sessions, and so we have a 3 module A, B, and C. So module C is we plan a hybrid model. So those who are closer to Cambridge, they can join in person, and but those who are outside Cambridge, or the program keep it flexible so that making sure other people outside the Cambridge can also join it. So, but module B is purely online, and module A is I'm still thinking about whether we should do hybrid or online. It's not sure yet because depend on the situation coming. So that we are working on. So module A and C are usually quite intense. So you have packed with the workshop, you have a packed with the mentoring session, networking session, and if module C we have a business plan presentations, one-to-one clinic discussion, talking to the advisor. But module B is more online, so you have a flexible approach. So module A is only, when we talk about, is around 3.5 days, and module C is we are talking about 4 days, and module B is across the three months. And then the people during the module B, mentoring sessions are continuing, one-to-one discussion with the business advisors are continuing, so that they can refine it and build it and test it out, talking to different people, talking to the customer, kind of customer validation, going through what you be. So, and then when they came back and, in the module C, they pitch to the potential investor or, entrepreneur. So that is the idea. So the content is customer value proposition, marketing, all the thing, business models, the finance, intellectual property, how to make it sustainable. Funding, if you think about funding, it is for grant funding or it is about angel funding or VC funding, and also team building, and then negotiation. So all the, you can look at on our website, all the content will be there. But one thing that is that if you look at the content that doesn't speaks to you is that is, I believe in it, is you need to convince other people this is a good journey. This is a worthwhile journey you need to take. At the same time, you need to convince yourself, most importantly, as a person, this is the journey, career I would like to take. This is impulses about personal development, just trying to change in the mindset from the technology mindsets to the business mindset, with the help and the support from those who are also tech innovator, entrepreneur who has done it before. At the same time, trying to build the strategy and a plan in your business, and so building a business.
Yeah, that's really great, Yupar. Thank you for covering those key content areas. Now, I believe there are different types of applicants. So you can be a postdoc or a startup founder. Is that correct?
Yes, so we have a three different audience we targeted. So
Okay.
one is early stage, like a postdocs, PhDs, and they may be in a very early stage. They working on on a research in their labs, and they think this is something interesting and have an impact in the future. So that kind of very early stage. And then we have some people like those who are already started businesses maybe 6 months ago, 1 year ago, but they need to make sure I'm investment ready. I need to think about, am I doing the right thing? My business model is the right model. Who are my partner? Which market I need to go, because there may be a lot of market applications. Which market I should go, prioritize my market. So all these things. So this is for an entrepreneur. So this is a second audience. And the third one is more people within the corporate organization, innovator. So we have alumni from National Physical Lab, Academy Display Technologies, and also we have a SDFC. So the people, they are trying to also build in new ideas within the organization. Even though there are differences, that the common objective of them is how can I make my idea viable, and how can I make my tech idea, potential business case. So.
That's great. And you briefly touched on some of the benefits there of changing the mindset of participants into that entrepreneurial space. Can you just expand a little bit more on the benefits of participants going through the Impulse program?
Yes, the first thing is learning the skills, business skills, entrepreneurial skills. So it is finance scale, business models, marketing, all these understanding intellectual property, how to pitch, how to communicate my idea to other people, and also what does it mean by talking to investors, so all these knowledge part. And at the same time, these all the personal development. So to experiment yourself. So if you are not sure, my role, entrepreneurship is for me, they can come and test it out, experiment in a safe environment, for the early stage. So it is all about changing mindsets from technology to a business mindset and testing out whether this is a commercially feasible. And also because we have around 120, 30 entrepreneur and investment community and a network and involved in the program. So you have opportunity to build a relationship with these networks. And you might know sometimes if you're trying to raise funding, when you started to look for who are potential funders or trying to connect them, when you need money, it's too late, right? You need to build a relationship at least a year beforehand. So that kind of building the network, building the relationships, and getting the advice. And yes, so that keep innovation, keep going.
Great, thank you. Moving on now to connections and networking. We've touched on it a little bit, but they are intrinsically linked. So those embarking on an entrepreneurial career may be coming from a completely different environment and mindset, which we've talked about. So they might be in the research side, doing lab work, and networking may not come naturally. And also, it's become more challenging due to the pandemic accelerating our use of digital platforms. So just thinking on that, Yupar, what advice would you give to a person starting their entrepreneurial journey about how to build their connections and networks? Do you have any top tips?
So, Paula, I'm coming from, as I mentioned you, from Burma, Myanmar before. Networking is not natural for me. When I first came to my MBA at the Cambridge, I thought, what is the networking is about? I was really, really, oh gosh, what is it about? It's not natural for me to go out and say hello, hi, I am blah blah blah, and making it. It was not natural. But sometimes you have to a little bit practice it. You have to go out actually do it. And also, it is interesting thing is when you are starting something, you need people to recognize you. You need people to know what you are doing, and also you need all the information, right? You need all the experience, and you need all the knowledges. You can only get it through the networking and meeting with the different people, and that is the key part. So you have to always keep your mind. You have to do it. You have to do it. Even though sometimes we have always have a personality involved in it. And just to give you one example, and when I first do a research on the in this social capital research, I need to talk to various highly influential VIPs of an entrepreneur. It was a really, really big for me, to be honest. It was really, really big, but I cannot email from them. I like to have a meeting with you too. It's not easy to arrange a meeting. So you need to find people through the networking events, and you need to also try to find somebody who trusts me, and then they could be a trust, and then they can give me a reference to them. So you have to go through all this process. And one of the moment for me, I was confident enough to begin to networking is it was in the 2003, I think, and 2004 time. I need to go to the networking event in a King's College. It is related to entrepreneurship event, and I have to talk. And I met Andy Hopper. Andy Hopper was he's a professor, very well-known entrepreneur. At the same time, he is a head of the computer lab. It was a huge for me. At 2003-4 time, and. He was so popular, and he has a lot of people approaching him and talking to him. And but I have to go and talk to him. I was very uncomfortable, and I just go and talk to him and talking to the just say something like I really do interview or to talk about your experience in your entrepreneurial venture and also your networks and things. And he was so kind and nice. Why don't you send me an email and let's fix a date for our interview? And it gave me a huge confidence. As when you do networking, also you need people who are supportive and helping you to build confidence. Also, at that time, I'm sure and even might not remember. For me, this is a moment I feel confident to do networking in the future. And I think it is important you just get out and do things. And for me, it's for the entrepreneurs who are starting their entrepreneurial innovation journey. They need a mentor, I would say. Trying to get a mentor so you trust. It's not necessarily your own boss. It's not a good idea. Trying to get a mentor who gives you independent view. So somebody who could be domain expertise. If you have some kind of technology related, trying to get a domain expertise with the network. And I also want to like to point it out is that networking is not a short-term process. Networking is a long-term process. And when I talk about social capital, so social capital is bringing the network of people, right? Who has you create a network who are supportive and helpful community there. That's mean you have to have a two-way process. You need to help, they help you, you have to also help them back. So kind of building the relationship is not only exchanging business cards or anything. It takes time, it takes years to build it, but once you got it, there's a trust and relationship involved in it. It is like your lifetime assets. It's like your education. It's lifetime asset. Wherever you go walking from different places, you can take this social capital with you.
That was lovely, Yupar. Honestly, you gave so much in that of something that I hadn't even considered and possibly should have done, those cultural aspects of networking. I'm a firm believer that, networking is not for everybody. Not everybody feels very natural. They're not naturally extrovert, etc. So it is something to build upon, and it can be easily dismissed. Oh, well, you just get out there, you just network. But as you've said, quite rightly so, there's the cultural aspect of it. You might be coming from a culture where this talking to people and strangers is not something that we do on a regular basis. So you have to get over that. There's also this understanding that networking is a long-term process. It's about building relationships and building trust and building confidence. And actually, those that are more confident think that the other person, well, they might not be as confident about networking as you. So be supportive in that sense. And that helps build confidence. You said with Andy Hopper, him just saying, okay, well, send me an email and let's get a date in the diary, just gave you that boost of confidence. Okay, I can do this, so I can do it with others too. That was really lovely. And thank you so much for sharing that personal perspective there. That, it's networking is an art. Just going back to Impulse, is there a previous participant that you can highlight to us that has had a notable positive outcome?
Oh, Paula, this is a question.
Just the one.
So it is very difficult to pinpoint only one person, because it's not fair for me. It's not fair for them, because they all being entrepreneur is not a easy thing. Steve Bali from Riverlane Research, and I think he's one of the rock star. I will not say he's only one rock star. He's one of the rock star, yes, and I think Carmen for New Quantum as a lady entrepreneur. I really support the lady entrepreneur. So, and Paula, I know you say one, so I have actually several of the lists, and there's a lot of lady entrepreneurs doing health tech. Because you're health tech, digital health technologies, and I can say 4 or 5 names easily. And Christina and Shakiba, they are doing microbiome. I think they are quite interesting technology there. And Panya she's doing Panakia. My pronunciation might be bad. It is doing that business. And Jenny is trying to build eScent one. Gita is doing the glucose-5. So there's a lot of ladies in health technology they are doing, and I'm very supportive. So
Fantastic.
I really hope, or I really wish they can be rock stars in the future. And I have a lot of male rock stars here, but I think I will only mention them.
Well, thank you for shouting those out. Thank you so much. It's great to hear of female entrepreneurs doing great stuff within the world of health tech there. What is the most important lesson you've learned through your career?
It always go back to my different culture coming from Burma, Myanmar. So, but I think one thing I learned is keeping open minds. Open minds and open learning is a key element. And I think one thing is also not losing your identity, right? So this is what you are made of, and the truthful to yourself is a key part. You have to be who you are. You have to be, truthful to yourself and truthful to other people also. So that is a key thing. But at the same time, you have to open mind, and that you have to learn from other people, from the fresh thinking, fresh idea. But I think when you do things and you should not lose your identity and your belief and your values, and that I think essential element in your career, and also in your job also, it makes more original than following other people. So I think it has to be authentic, has to be original. And I like the wording that Lord Carabella Moria said, it is not just what you do, it is how you do that.
They're great values to hold there, Yupar, and ones that can, at times, potentially people can lose them and lose their way, but absolutely bringing it back to that authenticity, which leads me nicely into what or who inspires you.
My father and my mother are really inspirational for me. So my father is now around 88 years old, but he's very intelligent and he's very clever man. So during his 1950, he studied at MIT and he got his bachelor degree from MIT. He's a mechanical engineer and he built kind of fertilizer factories or all these cement factories. That he has a great vision and he's very open mind. Even though he's traditional Burmese, he's very open mind and open learning. So I really admire him. And my mom, she is a housewife, so she didn't go to a university or anything. But my mom had a very good upbringing and a good life education. So she's a wonderful woman, and she's very kind and helpful. And she also look after, even the families of the other family people. So she's amazing woman, and she speaks very lovely, very nice. And my father is very direct, and my mother is so nice. So I always admire their combination, So people completely came into my mind is, of course, Harman. Harman Hauser. Harman was, when I was at Dutch Business School, he was helping me in the Ignite course. And at the same time, I also helped him, supported him to build a kind of ICT summer school in Austria. And so I have opportunity to work with him. And what his message is all about, just do it. It looked like a very simple, just do it. But I can reflect sometimes. There's a lot of making the decision, actions I need to do. And I remember Harman comment, just do it. So that is, I think that's a fantastic. So he inspired me. And the second person also inspired me is David Cleverly. I think, so David is incredible, I would say, as a leader.
Great. So Herman Hauser and David Cleverly are inspirations in addition to your parents there, who sounds like a wonderful combination for you to have been able to draw upon over the years as well there. So is it about the journey or the destination?
I'm a Buddhist, right? So I would say, it's all about journey. The journey is important. But for me, it's both. Without knowing where you are going, I'm not so sure the journey. We have to know at least the destination, right? So I would say both. Sorry for that.
That's brilliant. That is brilliant. Thank you. If you could time travel, where would you go and when?
Yes, I will go around 90, I would say 50s in Burma. I would like to see my parents before they got married.
That's interesting.
I think I just want to see, who they are, how do they behave when they were young. And they might be very, cute. How do they meet? All these things. I'm curious about them. And yes, that is where I would like to go and see them secretly,
That's a really interesting perspective. I've never really thought about that. But yeah, that'd be a fascinating time to go back to see your parents as just young individuals, about town doing their thing. What were they like? What were their personalities before they had you, and became parents and mum and dad? Is it better to be lucky or make your own luck?
To be honest with you, from my experience, when I did an exam, when I was young, I did an exam. Luck is not easy for me. Luck was not easy. I have to little bit work hard to get a better scores. If you go to exam, I think for me is that I have to work a little bit harder to get a little bit luckier. If I work harder more, I got a luckier. So there was one, I can't remember who somebody saying, I think Samuel Goldwyn or something like that. He has a similar thinking on the harder I work, the luckier I got.
Brilliant. I love it. I love it. I just love the way you frame it. It's great. Well, thank you so much. That is the end of time here, and thank you so much for being a part of this Joining the Dots podcast and taking the time to be my guest today and sharing your knowledge and experiences of developing the Impulse program at the Maxwell Centre. I think really it's been such a great conversation looking at the cultural aspects of networking and being authentic and true to yourself, being original throughout your journey wherever it takes you into academia, industry, or being an entrepreneur, and building confidence and people who are more confident, allowing others and supporting them to build confidence in networking or their entrepreneurial journey or whatever it is. Not everybody is you. So, be kind, as you said, Yupar, be kind. And on a final note, it's not just what you do, but how you do it. So we're going to leave on that note there. Thank you very much, Yupar.
Thank you very much.
To find out more about Connect Health Tech and join our conversations online, go to our website at connect.cam.ac.uk/health tech.